Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Bucco Brew, powered by DeFair Coffee and Tea. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, of course, we have the Jim Rosati. Jim, happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little tired.
Yeah. Well, it's 7 a.m.
Although I was here on time. Let the record show. I was here on time. You were 6 minutes late. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So with that said, we have a packed show today. The Pittsburgh Pirates sweep Colorado Rockies. They're on fire. I mean, this is the second half team right here. Clearly going to be a contender in 2026. So we'll talk about how that's going to happen. But no, I mean, they sweep the Rockies. Bubba Chandler makes his debut. This is the first full week of Connor Griffin being in Double-A. Yeah, like fun things were happening. So we're gonna have a lot to talk about today. Anthony Murphy's going to come on from Bucks on Deck, also Baseball America, also DK Sports. He's going to come on. We'll talk some prospect stuff. So again, packed show, good stuff.
Yeah, a lot to talk about. Rockies series went the way that you would hope it would go. I mean, that was a terrible Colorado Rockies team, and we just beat the crap out of them, which was kind of fun. We don't really get to do that to too many teams, and
right.
I'll say this: as bad as it is for us, man, being a Rocky. What if we were the mountain, the Mile High Nine or something like that, and we were a Rockies podcast? That'd be kind of rough. And DiNardo's frozen. God, DiNardo's internet. DiNardo versus his internet. That's DiNardo versus his internet. This last month or so has been a bigger battle than Pirates Rockies.
I don't know what's going on.
There you go. Now you're back. You're good.
But anyway, yeah.
You're back.
So what were you saying?
Oh, I was saying being a Rockies fan would be rough right now.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be real rough.
Of course. Yep. At least we're not the Rockies. That's like the slogan for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, and they don't even have anything to look forward to. I don't think there's anything that they've got going on right now that would lead you to be optimistic about the future of their team.
No. I mean, no, obviously this part's changed, right? The fact that there's been no player over 100 with runs created plus, that's now changed. But I mean, they have parts, they have some good players. Just overall as a team, it's bad. But yeah, prospect wise, it's not good. It's they have, you would think, good pitching, but it's Colorado, so it just ends up not being good pitching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their pitching just
either way. I mean,
is rough.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're them,
again,
you're kind of hoping that Charlie Condon turns into something. Right. Ethan Holiday turns into something. But it's they've got a lot of work.
They could. And I feel like that's always been the Rockies' MO, is they always have prospects that can hit and they end up hitting. They haven't. It's been a little bit of time. There's a gap there right now where they haven't had that type of success, but they usually have some pretty decent hitters, and they come up, and again, they're exciting. And it is for the opposite effect for the pitching. It's Colorado, so the hitters are fun and exciting in that sense. But either way, it's bad. They hate. How about this? For the people that love to get on analytics, Smoletics, crap, right? Old school eye test, all this. Those are dumb. Analytics are ruining baseball. Analytics is why Ben Cherington stinks. The one team that basically has zero analytics department is the Colorado Rockies. So take that for what it is. The teams that have the largest are the Dodgers and the Rays. Take that for what it is. Anyway, the Pirates swept the Rockies. It was a fun series. I mean, obviously Paul Skeens pitched. That's fantastic. Just doing more stuff to create amazing history. Then Braxton Ashcraft started. Bubba Chandler made his debut and finished. That was a fun game just to see those two pitch together in that sense. So, I mean, the pitching was kind of fun, and also fun because of the future impact it has. The offense was fun because it came alive. Now, granted, it was the Rockies pitching as we're talking about, which helped that, but it came alive. I think these were fun games.
Yeah. I didn't really get to watch any of it, be quite honest. Friday, I was being delayed in an airport. I watched, bits and pieces of it. Saturday and Sunday, I was in Bowling Green watching the Greensboro Grasshoppers. So, yeah, I caught bits and pieces, caught the post-game shows. But, yeah, it definitely seemed like a very, very fun series.
It really was. However, it's in the past. They now have the Cardinals and the Red Sox away, and as Neil and Ryan discussed on the post-game show, they're much different home and away. They face the Rockies at home. They're a really, really good team at home. They're 39-30, I think, at home or something like that. Nothing going to go away, so we're going to see a whole different team. So next, I'm already predicting next Bucco Brew is not going to be as exciting to talk about. But before we go further, to tell you about the sponsor of today's show, DeFair Coffee and Tea. DeFair is a family and employee-owned and operated business. They believe that coffee and tea are one of life's simplest and most accessible pleasures, and when enjoyed thoughtfully, can open your eyes to the here and now. They have 5 locations across the city of Pittsburgh, including their flagship in the heart of Pittsburgh's historic district. Don't forget to stop by DeFair's new location downtown on Penn Avenue, right across from the Benedum. Grab a cup and fuel up your walk to PNC Park. Mobile ordering available. Check out their Instagram for more details. Of course, that is DeFair.coffee. And if you go on that site, Jim, and you're ordering for the very first time, what code do you want to put in?
You want to use code NS930, NS930. They ship all across the country, but if you put that code in, you'll get 30% off your first order, no matter how much you're buying, whether it's 1 bag or whether it's 100 bags. I don't know what you'd be doing with 100 bags of coffee, but if you ever needed it, you know where to go. DeFair.coffee.
Just listen, sometimes you have that morning, you could use 100 bags of coffee. I get it. They also ship locally, so there's that as well. They'll just arrive to your door and drop it off for you. All right.
Yeah,
so cool. So let's talk. Do you want to talk a little more about the Rocky series, or do you want to move forward?
Let's move forward. We had 3 post-game shows, so yeah, we'll move forward. Couple things before we get able to get into the meat and potatoes of the show, but the Pirates made a roster move last night.
They did.
They claimed Ryan
Kreidler.
Kreidler, I think is how you pronounce it.
Kreidler.
I think it's Kreidler.
I think of Dan, so add the L there. I'm thinking of Dan Kreidler.
I'm looking on Baseball Reference, and it says it's Kriedler. So Kreidler. He is a 27-year-old shortstop / third baseman / center fielder. He has a career negative 0.7 WAR on Baseball Reference.
Okay.
A career 11 OPS plus. That turns out to a 383 OPS. This year, in very limited time, negative 0.2 WAR and negative 14 OPS plus. So, yeah, should fit right in.
Yeah, solid stuff. 27-year-old, like you mentioned, and in terms of the Fangraphs world, a negative 0.9 WAR and OPS plus and WRC plus equal the same thing. 11 weighted runs created plus. So no real debate there. Very solid. Thank you, Ben Sherrington. This is one of those things too. It's that I don't really know. I know there's an open spot in the 40, I know it's like September's coming up. You're gonna have some call ups, maybe just to have bodies and whatever. But like, I don't know. Is there not another body?
I guess not. I guess the only redeeming quality I see here is like he can play lots of different positions, including the left side of the infield and center field. But he doesn't seem like he can hit. But yeah, I mean it's
the prototypical Ben Cherington edition.
Yeah.
We can play everywhere. He just can't hit.
Anyways,
you typically turn to find out that he actually can't play everywhere. He just physically does.
Yeah. I'd have a feeling that he's very much a depth option at this point, I would think.
Yeah.
I can't imagine him surviving any sort of offseason roster crunch. I think we'll just, and I'll spend 2 minutes on this, but yeah, like Jake Fraley was available last week. Jake Fraley, who, if he was added, would have been the best
at that time
offensive player on our team.
Mm-hmm.
But, he's making like $2.5 million. So, you can't have that. He also would have been under team control for next year too. So, if you maybe need an outfielder next year, which the team's going to need some, Jake Fraley maybe would have made some sense. But no, they let Jake Fraley go. I think he ended up going to the Braves, if I recall. And yeah, we claim Ryan Kreidler.
So we're done. Okay. Yeah. O'Neill Cruz also rehab in Altoona. So played a few games there. Expect him probably coming back and being activated. Hopefully he's going to be in St. Louis, but he's on the mend. He was out with a concussion, 7-day IL. That's why Ronnie Simon was up. So I anticipate Cruz being up here shortly as well. He did have a triple. He was playing with Connor Griffin. Connor Griffin had some nice words. Cool to be playing with some major leaguers and such. So there's that. But yeah, so there's like the transactions that happened. The big one, of course, Kreidler.
Yeah, I don't know how much time Cruz needs, but I mean, he played one game on Saturday, and I would think that's enough. Got him up here.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yep. But yeah, there was a pretty cool moment. There was O'Neill Cruz hit a triple in Saturday's game. So for anybody who was at the Altoona Curve game, and then Connor Griffin drove him in with a base hit. So maybe a little foresight into the future. Cruz Griffin offensive combo. But hopefully it would have been a fun weekend. Cruz, Griffin, Termar, basically like back to back in the Altoona lineup. Some fun stuff.
For sure.
But yeah, hopefully Cruz is back tonight.
You know who else is back?
Who's back?
Back again? Jared's back.
God.
Jared Triolo.
Yeah, let's get into this.
I've been teasing this for a few weeks now. And I'm gloating because it's working out in the best case scenario for me. That's why. A few weeks ago, I was on a post-game show with Tyler. And, like the light bulb kind of went off here for a second. How many years were we talking about, what if we just move Brian Hayes to shortstop? Like, he fits that position better. If he can play it well, which we anticipate he probably can. Like, he probably could slide over to shortstop and be the best Pirate shortstop. Probably one of the better shortstops in the NL, right? Probably not going to be as elite as he was at third, but he could probably slide into short. And, his profile fits better there. What if he could just do that? And then they traded Brian Hayes, and we're laughing. It's like, it's silly. This just shows how much of a shortstop IKF wasn't. They trade their third baseman, Brian Hayes, and they immediately move their starting shortstop to third to put their backup third baseman to short. I'm like, this is just stupid. What are they doing here? And then like it kind of just clicked. I'm like, everything we talked about with Brian Hayes is the same for Jared Triolo. And this is a team that doesn't have a shortstop going into next year. And this is a team that needs to fill a lot of positions. But there is Connor Griffin. So there's two parts to this. It's like, I'm interested to see how Jared Triolo finishes out this season. He's going to play every day. He's going to play at shortstop. So for one, also, like, how's the defense at shortstop fare? For two, how does he look? And like for three, where's Connor Griffin's path? And this is before Connor Griffin got called up to Double-A. So it's like, how close is Connor truly? And now that he's in Double-A, he's going to have 24 games there. We were discussed last week about when will you see Connor Griffin? It's possible he could be here opening day. That's in discussion. It's unlikely, but like, is it mid-May? Is it June? Or is it like to the end of the year or not till 2027? If Connor Griffin has a path to the major leagues, that's going to be somewhere between opening day and June, and you're Ben Cherington or the next GM for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and you have a limited amount of funds, and you need some power. You need some real offense. Maybe you can get a Eugenio Suarez at third base. That's going to cost some money, but like that would solve a lot of problems, right? Or maybe you can make some trade and you can get something in the outfield and in third base, right? But you have some limited funds. Are you also going to go out your way and spend money and take away from those resources to get a stopgap shortstop? Are you spending money on another IKF? Are you bringing IKF back so he can play shortstop next year? Or do you think Jared Triolo might be enough to get you through to Connor Griffin, who could be also another impact bat, but just saying an adequate, right? If Brian Reynolds returns next year, and he's Brian Reynolds, if O'Neill returns next year, and he's at least somewhat of the old O'Neill Cruz, there's two solid bats. Spencer Horwitz comes back, and he can just be maybe not what he's doing right now, which is amazing, but he can be adequate. He can be maybe what we thought he could be coming into this year. Nick Gonzalez is adequate. If you just start getting some guys that can hit, and again, Connor Griffin being one of those come June-ish or sooner, do you really want to spend money on a shortstop to take away from true needs? You still need some bullpen pieces. You need some real bats. Or is Jared Triolo good enough? And Jim, what Jared Triolo has been doing since that trade deadline, since Brian Hayes is out of the picture completely, he's been dominant. And actually, like, he's gone from maybe this is okay to dominant. He's been playing really, really well.
Since August 1st, Jared Triolo has accumulated 1 WAR. So, I mean, that's 21 games.
3 weeks.
In the National League, the only shortstops who have accumulated more WAR than that are Geraldo Perdomo, Francisco Lindor, Trey Turner. That's the list. He's 4th in the National League in WAR since August 1st. He's batting .324 with a .418 on base percentage and a .500 slugging percentage. That also makes him the 4th best hitting shortstop in the National League this month. And from a defensive standpoint, he's held his own. He's basically grading out to being like a league average shortstop right now. Donardo,
I hear that sigh.
I've seen this before. Like, we've seen this before from Jared Triolo, and I know it would. Here's the deal. It would be really, really nice. It would be really nice if Jared Triolo was that guy. If he was the guy who could be the stopgap between right now and Connor Griffin, then you know what? Cool. But again, we've seen this before. 2023 Jared Triolo, after he came back up, after he was demoted his first stint, tore it up that last part of the season. That was aided by a otherworldly BABIP. Also, like, I think it was like the second best BABIP of all time, if I remember correctly. He ended that season with a 440 batting average of balls in play, which is just ridiculous.
Thank you.
Last year, among players with 250 plate appearances or more in Major League Baseball, through the first 3 months of the season, he was the worst. He was the worst hitting player in Major League Baseball for a large chunk of last season. Then we saw him start creeping up a little bit. Like July wasn't good, but it wasn't the worst. August put together a pretty solid August last year with a 110 weighted runs created plus. September tailed back off, but overall, like I said, we've seen Jared Triolo put stretches like this together, particularly late in the summer. Like this is kind of this has been his time, is late summer pushes. We saw it in 2023, saw it in 2024. We're now seeing it in 2025. I want to believe in Jared Triolo. I really do. But it's like I've seen way too much of this where I've seen way too many stretches of him just being the worst hitter in baseball to believe that this 3.5, 4 week stretch is real by any means. Now, I keep it up. I'm not saying like it there's nothing to this. We should not be paying attention. Bench him, bring up Cam Devaney. Like that's not what I'm saying. There's 5 more weeks left in this season. Play him. Does he keep it up? If he does, then it's going to start an interesting conversation. But I'm not buying yet. I'm not buying yet. I'm still in wait and see mode here. But I think I've seen way too much Jared Triolo being a really, really, really bad hitter to believe this is anything than just a hot stretch.
Now, you should. That's fair. That's the proper way of taking this. And I'm still there also. Like I said, there's 2 parts to this. There's 2 parts. How does Triolo finish this year? The year's not finished yet. But again, I'm watching for this because this is something that I think could be very advantageous for the Pittsburgh Pirates of 2026. Because there is a young shortstop, the number 1 prospect in baseball, that could be an impact. It's league minimum salary. So you're getting one of those bats. When you have limited funds to invest, do you invest into a stopgap that might cost you $4 to $5 million? That's $4 to $5 million that's being taken away from maybe having a tier A or B player to now a tier C player. So like, are you settling? And then again, you're trying to fill another position. Like, would you rather settle with someone who's adequate? Another IKF thought to get to Connor. Or do you want to spend money, have to try to spread it as far as you can, because you have to spread money far on this team. There's a lot of problems, especially offensively, and then have to settle on a bunch of other guys. That's where I'm at. That's where, like, if he can prove that this is something he'd be capable of doing. And again, the defense is something as well. How does the defense play? Again, my thought is, what was IKF coming into this year? He's going to be a below average hitter that can play adequate shortstop. And to me, like, if you had IKF, if Jared Triolo is IKF the first few months, I don't think anyone's complaining. It's just, can he be that? And that's kind of the problem. And that's why, again, I'm not finished. This is what's going to happen. He still has to perform the rest of the year. I'm watching, though. And Connor Griffin has to perform, because if Connor Griffin's just not that guy in AA, well, then he's probably not here in June. So maybe now you're thinking, okay, Connor Griffin's timeline isn't maybe from opening day to June. Maybe it's more close to the end of the year. Let's go invest in a real shortstop, because I'm also here not to say I'm buying into Jared Triolo for all of 2026. I just need to know that he can be adequate for maybe a few months. And he's kind of showing that right now. And I also want to say it's not so much just because of his past 3 weeks. You first talked about his BABIP, his outstanding 2023 season, where we were talking about, like, what can he be? But he had a 440 BABIP. He has a career low BABIP this year. And this starts from the very beginning. Like, this is something like his expected stats, and this is a team issue. But like, when you look at expected stats, he was also one that was getting wrecked. But he was awful. Like, there's one thing when you're Brian Reynolds, you're getting wrecked. There's one thing when you're catching it in rec, but you're still like a league average hitter at that point in time. But like when you're Jared Triolo at that point in time, like with a 500 OPS, you're getting wrecked. Well, bro, you just suck. You know what? Like, who cares? That's just an excuse. However, that was part of a story. It's limited bats. Like, he only has 240 plate appearances all year, which includes these past 3 weeks of everyday at bats. So as of today, league average BABIP is a 291, I think, for MLB. He's sitting at a 247. His BABIP's really, really low. And right now, he's also sitting at an 82 weighted runs created plus. Honestly, my thought is if a Jared Triolo can give you about an 82 to 90 weighted runs created plus with his adequate enough that now I would hope for better than adequate defense. So that's where it maybe adjusts. Because again, I'm now looking at the defense and maybe it's not as good as the shortstop as I was hoping for. Maybe it is just about league average. So you probably need a little bit better of a bat. So if you're sitting at like around a 90 weighted runs created plus for a Jared Triolo and league average bat, would you take that? Would you know, like, hey, this is a guy who's hitting again? It's what you would maybe hope that Brian Hayes would be a third or shortstop. That's what I'm getting to. You know, like we talk so much how he could solve problems if maybe they switch him to shortstop. If Jared Triolo can present that for you, Jared Triolo can give you like a 90 weighted runs created plus as shortstop till Connor Griffin got there. Would you take that? Knowing it's a league average contract? League minimum contract.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I'm to answer that question, no. Like it's okay. I'm at the point where that's not good enough. This team needs. I mean, that's just signing.
What if that's the difference between a third baseman who's hitting 130 plus or 115?
I don't know what kind of pipe dreams we have for third base right now, but
I know
like they're not.
They're not fine. What if it's a third base that's hitting 115 and not 100?
I think the only way they're getting a third baseman is via a trade. They're not signing any impact talent. So I really think.
However it happens.
Well, you can get a trade. You can trade for somebody, and it doesn't cost you as much money. Like
they're still out.
I don't see this team signing any sort of impact talent to be an offensive player. It's just too expensive. We've seen it time and time again. They just can't. They just don't do it. And I get the Connor Griffin thing, and I love Connor. I'm super high on him, but I also think we need to pump the brakes on thinking that he's going to help the 2026 Pirates. He's going to be there. He's going to be 19 opening day. He's going to turn 20 in the middle of the year. We should have zero expectations on Connor Griffin helping the 2026 Pirates. None. Zero. Zilch. It should not be an expectation for anybody. And I know it's going to be because it's hard to not get really excited about the number one prospect in baseball. But you just don't always see guys like that come up and be immediate impact players. Bobby Witt Jr., who's arguably the best shortstop in baseball right now. His rookie year, he was 22 years old. Guess what? He had a 98 weighted runs created plus. He was a 2-WAR player. He was basically a league average guy. And we're talking about like the best player at the position currently.
Mm-hmm.
At age 22, Connor Griffin's going to be 20. So I think that's my thing. Like, I don't want to make a decision going into next year just saying, I need somebody who's going to be good enough until Connor Griffin gets here. That's not my thought process when I'm addressing shortstop this offseason. I'm not saying I need somebody for a few months before Connor Griffin gets here. I'm saying I need my major league shortstop for 2026 who I can compete with. And Jared Triolo right now is not the answer to that question for me. So I get where you're saying, like, he can be the cheap option until your superstar arrives. But, like, I think we need to temper our expectations on what a 20-year-old Connor Griffin can contribute to a Major League Baseball team.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. In a perfect world, that's what I would want also. I just know how limited the resources are and maybe how much more limited they're going to be next year, which is part of the problem. And when it comes to risk reward and also looking at this 2026 team next year, like, is this 2026 team good enough without a good Connor Griffin? Like, that's also kind of how I'm approaching this. Like, I get what you're saying, and those are probably reality, but the team's probably still not going to be good. And again, we know like what this team needs and the limited resources they have, and it's going to be spread the money out. Bunch of Tommy Phams on this team. Let's see what happens, and that's not going to be good enough. And for this team to be good enough, I feel like you just have to hope and pray that Connor Griffin is not rookie year Bobby Witt Jr., which is, if he is, like, it's fine for Connor. What I'm saying is, as a GM for this team taking over, like, if you want this team to be good next year, you kind of have to hope and maybe pray that Connor Griffin's up, Connor Griffin's hitting, and all the other resources you put around that now makes his team good. Because I just don't think there's enough. Like, I also think what you're saying is a pipe dream. That's part of the problem. Like, if you do get a real out there and get a shortstop and use money to do so, which taking funds elsewhere, like I don't think you have enough money to build a competitive team next year. You have to almost bank that Connor Griffin can really help you out there, and in doing so, you have to save money on that position. That way, you can spread the funds elsewhere to have that dream. So that's where I'm at. Again, like, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but I think this could be part of a solution.
Yeah, and just to go a little bit deeper into this, since 2010, there have been, and I just put in 200 plate appearances. So like guys who were called up and played 2 months, you know, there have been 14 20-year-olds who have been league average hitters in the last 15 seasons. There have been 14 of those guys. And the names here: Manny Machado, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Ozzy Albies, Rafael Devers, Giancarlo Stanton, Jackson Chourio, Wander Franco, Jason Hayward, Carlos Correa, Bryce Harper, Ronald Acuna Jr., Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis Jr., Mike Trout.
You know what I hear? A lot of number 1 overall prospects.
A lot of number 1 overall prospects do, but a lot of number 1 overall prospects also not on that list.
No, I get that.
So,
and again,
I think that's my thing. Like, Jared Triolo can't be the guy where it's like, you know what, we just need somebody who can hold the fort down. I don't think you can go into 2026 thinking this is I don't think you can't go into 2026 thinking that your solution at shortstop is this guy for a few months.
It's fair.
So.
And I also, again, like, when I say him being the guy, like, I don't mean he has to be the superstar, like what Junior is now. But if he's an above average hitter, is essentially what I'm going at. Like, if he's part of the solution, you know, like, that's just where I'm at with him. But
he's never shown us he's a league average hitter.
I'm talking about Connor Griffin.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm talking about Triolo now.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
no, I'm saying, like, when I'm talking about the guy, like, I'm not saying he has to be a 10-war player next year. I'm just saying, like, he needs to come up and he needs to be not even like again, one of those people, Anthony Roman, right? Roman Anthony.
You've called him Anthony Roman twice, which I find hilarious.
Like,
but no, again, to your point, like Roman Anthony is doing it, but Roman Anthony also isn't 20, right? Isn't Roman Anthony 21?
We might be 21 now. Yeah.
So he turned 21 before his major league debut. So, like, again,
no, I get that. I'm not arguing it. Like, I don't need him to be Anthony.
I know
Roman Anthony, but
I know you're not arguing that. But like I said, my argument is, like, I have not seen enough from Jared Triolo to feel comfortable going into 2026 as him being my opening day shortstop.
I get it. I get it. I'm here also to tell you, like, this season has been different also. Again, it has been fueled with bad luck, and I'm not trying to make that as an excuse, but his BABIP is super low. His strikeout, his K rate has dropped tremendously. I mean, it's 18.8%. Last year, 26.5%. The year before that, when he was playing really good, right, he's striking out 30% of the time. Like his walk rate's almost 12%. Like he has the highest walk rate in his career, the lowest strikeout rate in his career, coupled with the lowest BABIP in his career. So I mean, there's literally is bad luck on his balls in play, and he is technically slugging pretty well, like well enough. Again, well enough. It's the most barrels he's had.
It's not good enough.
Okay. Okay.
Do it for 5 more weeks, and we can talk. We can talk about this all off season. Like, is Jared Triolo the guy? But I gotta see a lot more than a good August, because we've seen a good August from him for 3 straight years now.
I get it.
And we've seen terrible rest of seasons going into. Like I said, worst hitter in baseball last year, the first half, April, May, June. If I go and I click April, May, June, July this year, second worst hitter in baseball. Can't do it yet.
All right. Well, let's move on. We want to get Anthony Murphy on then.
Good discussion. Listen, I'm rooting for the guy. Just not. I'm not there yet. I'm gonna have to see. I'm gonna have to see a lot more.
And I'm still saying everyone to wait out, see how he finishes. Wait out, see how Conor Griffin finishes, because that's what's going to determine a lot of things, I feel like. All right.
Yeah.
So, good morning, Anthony Murphy. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, guys?
I don't want to hear your comments on Conor Griffin and Jared Triolo. We're done with that. We're just talking prospects now, not naming Conor Griffin. No,
I mean, Conor Griffin's a prospect, so I mean,
yeah.
But how you doing,
Murphy?
I'm doing good out here in Greensboro. I'm watching the Grasshoppers this week, so getting ready for that.
Love it. They're coming off a strong weekend, so yeah, glad to get to go see them all week long. So, Murphy joining us from a hotel. Let's talk about this last week. I mean, the big news was Conor Griffin heading to Altoona. So, he had his first week of upper level ball. How'd he do? What did he look like? Did he look overwhelmed in any way? Did he look like he belonged? Let's talk. I mean, he played 5 games. Hit 263, 318 OBP, 263 slugging. Did strike out 31% of the time. 3 stolen bases, 3 RBIs. But yeah, I mean, I think it's too small of a sample size to look at stats. But yeah, what did he look like?
I mean, I kind of feel like he looked mostly as expected. I mean, there's maybe some struggles with like some of the breaking pitches on the outer half. That's kind of been like, if you can kind of poke a hole in his game, that's kind of been the thing for him. But I will say, like, he adjusted pretty quickly to that. Like, by the end of the week, he had a couple base hits off of breaking pitches. So that's obviously encouraging. Now I guess at that point, you kind of just want to see consistency with that. So that'll be kind of like the biggest thing to look forward from there. But I mean, hit a couple, didn't really hit a couple to the warning track. So like, he's making solid contact. So you know, as he gets more comfortable, maybe we'll start seeing those go over the fence or start dropping and stuff like that. But I think you can't help but be encouraged by the first week there.
Yeah, I heard he missed a home run by like an inch.
Yeah, it was he hit it as far as you could without it going over the fence. So
with getting it out.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Cool. So good stuff from Conor Griffin. So he'll be here opening day next year, right? So we don't have to worry about the Jared Triolo talk then. Is that what's happening?
I'm not going to say that because
come on, Murph.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think the little that I saw of him, I said the stat line doesn't look incredible, but it's 5 games.
Yeah.
But he certainly he didn't look like he was overwhelmed by Double-A pitching
No.
or anything like that. So
No.
yeah, an encouraging first week.
Mhm.
The youngest Altoona Curve player ever, which
Yeah.
is pretty exciting. Yeah, and he's gonna have 3 more weeks to finish up there, and Altoona's making a push for a playoff spot too, correct?
Yeah. They're right in it for a second half spot. So
Yeah, good stuff. When can we realistically expect? I do want to talk about Murphy. Talk about this a little bit. Can we expect Connor Griffin to be in the major leagues next year?
So I've been one of those people, like there was a point to where like I refused to talk about that. Like I would straight up ignore people on Twitter when they would ask me that stuff. It's because like I mean realistically, like he's a teenager, and then until now a teenager playing in the lower levels. So like
Yep.
I'm not talking about an ETA on a teenager playing in. I mean, we have a weak sample size now and upper. We'll have a better idea there. But like, I mean, at this point, with the way he's playing and how quickly he kind of adjusted to Double-A pitching, and obviously we'll have to see him do it for like a longer period than just a week. Like at this point, I'm not willing to throw anything out the window as far as it comes to now. Do I think he's going to make the opening day roster? No, I don't think he's not going to make the opening day roster.
There's going to be a lot of
we-
noise about it.
Did you hear that,
though.
Connor? Anthony Murphy's betting against you.
I'm not betting against you. I'm never going to bet. Like, all right, so there are probably 2 people that like I'm not betting against anything of people like Bubba Chandler. I'm not betting against him doing anything, and then Connor Griffin. I'm not betting against it. I'm just like I don't see where like he'll still be a teenager when the season starts next year. So like
Right.
I'm not banking on a teenager, and I'm probably not wanting to have to bank on a teenager to be my starting shortstop opening day. But could I see could I see him debut next year? Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, let's see. Yeah, the exciting stuff though, and like I mentioned last week, like if you are, I mean, there's 3 weeks left. If you're in the state of Pennsylvania or Pennsylvania adjacent, go see this guy play. He's in Harrisburg this week, Altoona next week, Erie the week after that. So you'll have plenty of opportunities to check him out. Just go to a Curve game. Watch some Double-A Eastern League baseball. Everybody loves Curve baseball.
Yeah, I loved it so much I canceled my week of it to go to Greensboro instead.
All right. So speaking of Greensboro, and a few other affiliates here, a lot of prospects came into the system during the trade deadline, and we've got 3 weeks worth of kind of data and eyeballs and looking at these guys. So I guess let's just walk through some of the newer guys to the system that, again, we're part of these trades at the deadline, and just get an update on them, see how they look. I guess the first and foremost, the headliner of the David Bednar trade, Rafael Flores. He's been in Indianapolis. He's definitely the closest to making the majors out of all of these guys. But what have you seen out of Flores just in your first 3 weeks watching him?
So haven't got a too great of a feel of like how it's going to work like behind the plate yet. Yeah, I like to kind of watch over a larger sample, and you got to figure too, like he's working with a whole new set of pitchers and everything like that. So might take a little bit of a time with that. But I will say, I mean, he's a guy that's not going to he hasn't not much of a chase. Exit velocity numbers pretty decent. So when he does make contact, it's pretty solid. I think that's the biggest thing though. There's been a lot of swing and miss, and the zone contact rate's pretty low. I think last time I checked, he was like towards the bottom of the international league in zone contact rate. So That's going to be like
Yeah.
the biggest key for him.
Third percentile.
Yeah. So that's less than ideal. Looking at like the I pulled up his TJ stats page the other day, and it's not obviously a direct comparison, but like the percentiles and the thing kind of like were Jack Sawinski-esque in bad whiff rate, but like really good chase rates. So he doesn't chase out of the zone, but he's still swinging and missing quite a bit.
Yeah. Sawinski was the option that I looked at too, where it was like you put these two guys right next to each other and very similar profiles. And the one concerning thing I had here was similar profiles, but like Sawinski's kind of better across the board. Sawinski's also, a little bit older and has a lot more experience at the AAA level and upper levels. But I think that's the red flag going up there for me with Rafael Flores is like, we've seen hitters like this before, and the Pirates specifically haven't had a lot of success with them. Now Sawinski had a lot of success one year, so if he can do more of that as opposed to recent Jack Sawinski, then we're talking. But yeah, definitely hits the ball hard. Like you mentioned, he doesn't chase, but the stuff in the zone is kind of where the issue is there. Going just let's just go down the top prospect list. So Rafael Flores, number 9 on Baseball America's list. Sammy Stafora, number 11. You'll get to see him in Greensboro this week. What's your first impressions of him? I got to see him a little bit this weekend as well.
I think it's a lot like maybe what I was expecting so far. The defense is great. I love the defense. I think the defense has kind of always been the thing that because I know I was a big Stafora guy going into the draft, so I like the defense. The speed looked really good. He legged out like a double or a triple or something that he just kind of flew around the bases when he was with Bradenton. Just kind of struggling right now to make. I mean, he's 20 years old in high A, so like a little bit of an adjustment period and stuff like that. And new organization. I think he only played in like 4 games before he got promoted to high A. I know he'd been in low A for a while though when he was with the Reds, but he kind of jumped into a new organization probably with they wanted to try out some new stuff with him, and then they kind of throw him at a more advanced level. So maybe there's going to be some adjustments and stuff like that. So we'll see. I'm really interested in getting a chance to see him play for the week and get to see him at shortstop and whatnot. So probably the guy that I'm kind of like focusing on the most this week coming up.
Yeah, I'll say this. So I saw him Saturday. He didn't play yesterday. Offensively, having a little bit of a struggle adjusting to high A ball. He's also still really, really young kid. I mean, he's only 20 years old as well. So you hope that power and ability to drive the ball kind of gets going. The defense though is what stuck out to me. He was playing shortstop on Saturday, and there were multiple plays where he just made it look a lot easier than it should have been. Like, and it was noticeable. Like if you were paying attention, you were like, that play shouldn't have been that easy. And he made it look pretty simple and routine. And I think, like I said, for a 20-year-old being able to do that in the minors on minor league fields, like you just don't see that type of polish a lot from the shortstop position. And he impressed me there. Like I said, only saw him one game, but it stood out. Like it was noticeable. So yeah, looking forward to seeing more of him. Hopefully the hitting comes around a little bit. He was having a really good offensive season in A ball, especially just in terms of just getting on base and utilizing that speed. So you hope to see that a little bit more down the stretch here with Greensboro. But if there was any question about him like sticking at shortstop, like the kid looks like a shortstop, which certainly helps his future prospects. Like if you can play shortstop really well, he's got to be able to hit a little bit. and you'll be a big leaguer.
Yeah, there's less you have to do offensively if you can play shortstop. So.
Yeah. Going down here. Edgeline Perez.
I've liked his defense. I've really liked his defense. I think he's like there's the ABS down there in low A, so like framing isn't much as a thing, but like his receiving and framing has looked really good. Has a nice strong arm. I kind of feel like there's probably going to come a point to where they might want to like tweak his swing because he makes good contact. It's just everything's on the ground, so there's something that's going to have to be done to get the ball up in the air some. The exit velocity numbers aren't great, but like his max EV is a little bit above average what a 19-year-old generally hits. So like there might be some pieces there for like as he gets older. Doesn't have the biggest frame, so maybe like I'm not going to project too much added power. But if he can elevate a little bit more and grow into like maybe just some natural added strength, there could be some stuff there on there, especially with the defense. It's just it might have to come with a swing change. So
yeah, probably going to get a little more playing time now too. Hopefully, Plaz was down there in Bradenton. He's now been promoted to Greensboro. So yeah, that makes Edgeline Perez sort of the number one guy there in Bradenton.
Between him and Richard Ramirez.
Yeah. Ramirez just got called up a little bit too. It's a good point. Jeter Martinez, we haven't seen him in action yet.
Yeah.
He's on Greensboro though, right?
Yeah, he's listed, but it just says he hasn't. I was told that he was on the Bridge League roster. So like my like theory with that is that, because he had some control issues when he was with Seattle, that maybe they sent him down there to kind of tweak on some things and work on some, and then like once they find something straight and all that, they'll send him up there. Because I thought from the get-go, like sending a 19-year-old to like high A, like either they're like really high on him or like something was going on, because that just seemed like a very aggressive push for
that
him.
Makes sense. Okay. Brian Sanchez, he's been injured.
Yeah, he was. I guess he was hurt like coming into it, because like he got put straight on the injured list when the Pirates acquired him.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't had any playing time.
Mm-hmm.
Moss is an interesting guy.
Can I bring up my guy?
Yeah.
You're not going to see his name on prospect lists, but he's been impressive, and like just from a pure power standpoint, ever since he's come over, has just been crushing the ball. So I don't know. Talk to us about Callan Moss. He was the guy. Like we were live when that trade went down, and we're like, we just traded Bailey Falter for an undrafted free agent in high A ball. But ever since coming over now, 17 games so far, he has 4 homers. The contact rates are looking better. He's not really walking a ton, but he's hitting 358. He's slugging 627. He's got a 196 weighted runs created plus so far this month, and that was with a 125 weighted runs created plus when he was traded. So I don't know. Talk to us about Callan Moss. He's a big dude, first baseman. What have you seen out of him? So
he is. I mentioned Steffer is probably the guy I was mostly. It's probably like a 1A 1B thing, just because like the intrigue with him to see what's going on. I'm probably more inclined to say he's the type of guy that like I'm gonna say, okay, well let's hold off on this until he gets to Altoona, because it kind of feels like the type of profile that you come into the South Atlantic League and like you're gonna naturally walk into some added power that you did compared to like I don't know which league it is, or I think it's like the Carolina League that he's coming from. I'm probably like, it's impressive, it's good. Like obviously you want him to be playing good like this compared to like bad, but also before I start buying into like a prospect type of a first base profile that's right-handed, like I want to see that in the upper levels first. So intriguing, but
totally
like
fair.
intriguing, but like I'm not going to call him like a prospect or anything like that until I see him do it in Altoona, probably.
Fair
That's
enough.
that's kind of my read here too. I'll say this, like saw him yesterday. He looked impressive.
Mhm.
Both balls that he hit, actually he hit 3 balls really well. Led off the game with a 3-run homer in the first
Mhm.
inning, opposite field, and like drove it, like hit
Yeah.
a bomb to right field, and you just don't really see that often from
Mhm.
21-year-olds. I mean, he cleared the fence and then cleared the little advertising scoreboard that was sitting 10 feet behind the fence. So like it was an impressive shot. And then he had another at bat where another drive deep into the right center field gap, and the right fielder made like a circus catch to rob him
Yeah.
of extra bases. And then he had a line drive opposite field single, like hit it hard to right field. So like everything was going opposite field, but like loud contact with him. Um, so yeah, it's somebody to keep an eye on. I'm with you though. Like, let's see it in Altoona. He kind of strikes me as like a Esmeralda Valdez type light, maybe,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's got a ton of power, so he's going to hit the ball in the South Atlantic League. And
Mhm.
then, like, let's see if he can do it against, better breaking stuff and in ballparks that don't belong in, Williamsport as opposed to, pro ball. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
And like prospect status too, you think too, like Valdez has like put the potential of being like a corner outfield too. That kind of
yeah,
helps his status, whereas like Moss is first base
Moss is
only
first
kind of
baseman.
thing. Yeah.
He did make like this diving play yesterday where he didn't look very graceful. He dove, caught it, and then he got up to flip it to the pitcher, and then while doing that, he also fell over again. But he got the out. So
I mean, you get the out, right?
he got the out. Yeah. All right, Murphy. No, so you're gonna be in Greensboro this week. What features are you looking to get? What should we be looking from you, both on Bucks on Deck and Baseball America and DK? What kind of stuff are you cooking up?
Well, hoping to talk to some of the newer guys that just hit the system. I mean, we talked about like the trade deadline people here, but they have a couple of the draft picks here in Greensboro as well. So hoping to get a chance to talk with some of them. Main focus, like video wise, I'm gonna try to get more. I got video on pretty much everyone here that's been here most of the season, like hitting and pitching. So try to get some video of some of the newer guys. Trips mainly for the guys in the system, kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
should have plenty of video throughout the week. Hopefully a couple features too. Probably spread that throughout Bucks on Deck and maybe have something up on DK as well. So
Love it. Some
cool.
people are asking. I don't know if Florentino's injury. What's going on there? Do you know?
So it didn't look like anything like too. So he singled, got on first base, tried to steal on what ended up being the last pitch of the inning because Richard Ramirez struck out, and he slid into second. And from what I've been able to piece together from the people I've talked to, I think Wilbur was at that game too, and he kind of just said he kind of just got up a little bit slowly, and then left the game. So it's I don't even think like a trainer came out to check on him. He just kind of got up slowly, walked out the field under his own power, and then just left the game and now he's on the injured list. So
Well, hopefully he can get back very soon.
yeah. Well, I mean, they put him on the 7-day injured list, and they got this week and next week. So
We'll see.
unless they make the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, Murphy. Appreciate you as always. Have a great time in Greensboro. Once again, follow you on Twitter __ Murphy 88.
Yep.
Got that one right. Bucks on Deck Substack, Baseball America, DK Pittsburgh Sports. If you haven't subscribed to the Bucks on Deck Substack yet, do so. I don't know what you're doing if you haven't done that yet. If you want the most comprehensive coverage out there of the Pirates system, that's where you're going to find it. So
Yep.
Go subscribe, guys.
Yeah, subscribe. Might throw a sale
right.
out this week since I'm down here in Greensboro. We'll see.
Exactly.
So,
all right. Thanks,
all right.
Murph.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Murph.
See ya.
So
go.
good stuff as always.
Yeah.
We want to talk a little bit about Bubba Chandler here.
Let's talk a little bit about Bubba Chandler.
I know that the Triolo went a little longer.
We're getting a little crunch time here, but
he did debut and he looked really good.
How
4 innings, and I know it's the Colorado Rockies, but you can only face who's in front of you, right? It's not his fault that they're facing the Rockies when he debuted, but that's also why we anticipate that's probably when he's going to debut, right? Easy way to debut, get your feet wet. He looked good. 4 shutout. I know he had some hard hit balls to the warning track. That was happening on both sides that night, it seemed. But for a debut, it looked pretty good. And again, what I thought was really nice is the combination of Ashcraft and him together, which is like just a nice game to watch. Those two looking really good. But he does debut. He's in the bullpen. You know, we discussed that a bit, like he's going to be in the bullpen. But I mean, they've been talking like it's going to be up to him. You know, getting him into the rotation. I think that's what Ben said more or less. Like it's going to be up to Don Kelly at this point in time. You know, they anticipate that he'll be in the mix in maybe a few starts if he's performing well to get into the rotation and such. So, I mean, where do you think he stacks up with all the young pitching?
I mean, he's an absolute elite talent. Really, really cool to get to see him and have that extended. Like it was nice that his debut was like a 4-inning, like end of game save. Like being able to finish the game too is cool. Like just like getting the final out and being a part of the handshake line. He was impressive. And yeah, like it was the Colorado Rockies. But like he 4 innings, no runs. The big thing that stuck out to me too was the strike throwing. Like he was throwing strikes. Even when he was missing his spots, he was still missing. He was missing in good places. Like he was missing in the zone, but not bad in the zone. Like you can have bad misses in the zone, but he wasn't really doing that. And his stuff is so good that as long as you're not serving up cookies to guys, like you're going to get outs. Like if you throw a slider and yeah, maybe you don't bury it or you put it exactly where you want to, it's a really good slider. So as long as it's, low and somewhat away, like you're probably just getting weak contact somewhere. His fastball looked really good. If you just kind of look at the analytics behind it, lots of, induced, vertical, the vertical movement on it is elite. It's already up there as one of the better looking fastballs, in Major League Baseball. So yeah, I kind of want to keep seeing outings like this from him. Like I would rather see these like 3-4 inning outings out of the bullpen as opposed to like a 1 or 2 inning outing. Just to see him kind of get through a lineup, maybe go through it a second time, if a couple guys a second time. But it was really, really cool to see him debut. Awesome atmosphere. And yeah, like Ashcraft, it was like a perfect combo, like Ashcraft Chandler combining for a shutout on a Friday night. It was fun to see, but he was mixing in all his pitches. Changeup looked really good. I said the slider looked good. Threw a couple curveballs. The changeup also graded out to be, a really, really good looking pitch. So, and I mean, I've been saying it, like if you can throw a changeup and you can throw it effectively, like you're gonna have success, especially when you have the stuff that he has.
Right. Every pitch graded out. If you look at Stuff Plus, every pitch he threw graded out above average. I mean, everything. And he threw them all that night. And you mentioned about the strike throwing, 29 out of 40 pitches were for strikes. When he was missing, like you said, like there was a few that were like over the plate, but that's what we're also talking about. The stuff is so good that it's like with, not to put him in the same category, but like with Paul Skeens, like the stuff is so good. If you're just throwing strikes, guys aren't going to be able to hit it. His problem has been in the minors where he's just walking it, he's not throwing strikes. And like the Jared Jones effect, like Jared Jones will give up a hard hit ball here and there. But what made him so good was there was no one on base when he did, right? So you limit the damage. But Bubba Chandler right now, he's putting guys on base. So when he does give up that hit, now it turns into 2 or 3 runs that scored, right? That's not what you were seeing. Like he was throwing strikes. So it's okay to miss in the zone at times when you have elite stuff because chances are guys aren't going to hit it still. And that's what he was showing that day. So that's what I thought was really, really nice to see. Like you mentioned, like no walks at all in the 4 innings. Very, very efficient. So this is a really, really good outing. And I do like the developmental stage here of kind of getting him some reps in the bullpen and work his way to start. So that's what they've been doing a bit here. And that helps because you actually have good pitching. You have good starters. It's not as if you're coming in here to take over some quad A arms. I mean, these are all guys that are fighting or have been in the majors for some time. Of course, one of them being Paul Skeens and one of them being the $17 million man, Mitch Keller. So, there's a plethora of good quality arms here. So I like this way of developing. And again, it's a way to get all the arms some action. And if he can work his way up to making a start here or there, and of course, maybe you'll see some guys that are looking at innings limits and such. Maybe they're going to work their way down to the bullpen and do so. I like how they're working in all of the future arms right now because there's quite a few to do so. So great success for Bubba Chandler. I'm looking forward to the next appearance by him as well. But so far, so good. I do want to bring this up too also real quick. This is something that a lot of people have been speculating. And Alex, like he mentioned Alex's article, was he bored down there? Is he frustrated? And he kind of said like he's not a guy who stresses, but it was kind of stressful these past 2 months. And I don't know if that was a part that weighed him down, but he did say it. And yeah, that's an excuse. It's an excuse. Still do your thing. That's going to bother you. What's going to bother you in the major leagues? That's still an excuse. However, it's now past, as we said. It's like, I don't care anymore. I'm here. I don't care. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I liked hearing that from him.
Yeah. And Alex, he's got the mindset too, where like Murphy said, like, I wouldn't be betting against this guy. Like hopefully he's going to be fun to watch for a really, really long time. You bring up a good point too with the innings limits. Like I think he's going to get some starts down the stretch here because you look at Ashcraft, every time he pitches a ball, it's uncharted territory. Every time Burrows throws a pitch, it's uncharted territory. Chandler hasn't reached Chandler threw 15 more innings last year than he has this year. So like out of all the guys up here who are young, like Bubba Chandler's got some innings left in him. He threw 120 innings last year, which means you got to think he probably has 145, 150 innings in him this year. So, he's got 45 innings or so that he can give you the rest of this season where you still feel pretty comfortable about going into next season. He's been a guy who's built himself up. 106 innings in 2023, 111 in 2020, 106 in 20, 111 in 2023, 120 in 2024. So like he's been working up to being able to kind of finish this season. But yeah,
he'll tell you he's pitched 3 years over 100 innings.
Yeah, so he's there now, but he's got a lot left in the tank too. So whereas the other guys are kind of teetering on that. We saw Burrows pitch lights out on Sunday, but he was done after 4 innings because again, like Burrows has never pitched this much before. Ashcraft has never pitched this much before. So you do got to be a little bit careful with those guys because we saw what happened in 2023 with Johan Oviedo. Like when you get to a territory where you've never done this before, just that injury risk gets kicked up to another gear, and you don't want to see that happen, especially when you're 17 games under 500 out of a playoff spot. Like, let's not hurt any of these guys right now. Let's keep them all healthy for next year. That's what's really the most important thing. Yeah, it's
not like back in that year where you only had Mitch Keller and Oviedo and a bunch of relievers to try to fill it in. I mean, you have a bunch of starters that are getting relief work. So yeah, they're in a good place. For all those that are upset that I can't believe they're bringing up the number 2 prospect in baseball who's a starter and putting him in the bullpen. It's not bad. It's not a bad idea. And again, like I know Tyler's mentioned this, but going to the Brewers, Corbin Burns, I mean, like a lot of pitchers develop that way. And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way, but I appreciate that. And at least he's here and not in the minors. This is a way of working him up. And it's not like he was having much success, great success lately in the minors. So get him up here, work on some things, adjust, get him into the rotation, get him prepared for 2026. So I like the idea. And so far, so good from him. So let's go ahead quickly as well, wrap up here. They do play the Cardinals this week. It's a 40-game series in St. Louis. Unfortunately, it looks like Paul Skeens will miss playing in St. Louis, so no standing ovation from him, or for him, I should say, in St. Louis. But yeah, it's away. The Pirates have been playing good. I mean, again, since the All-Star break, I mean, they have been playing well. They're above 500. They're actually, you know what? I didn't check here, but they're actually, I'm sure at this point in time, above league average. But they're 97 weighted runs created plus coming into yesterday's game. Again, we know about the pitching. So, what do we take in this series? Is this going to be a good one, or are we going to see the away Pirates again?
I mean, I think we gotta almost expect the away Pirates at this point. I think the Cardinals are the one team where they are the only team in the division that they have a winning record against, though. So there is that. Yeah, no Skeens though. So you've got Oviedo, Keller, Ashcraft, Burrows, the four likely arms going in this draft. In this series, the Cardinals are kind of clinging on to their last breath when it comes to any sort of playoff hopes. They're 3 games under 500. They are. Let's see here. If we got a playoff, so we got. Yeah, not on the best website to view playoff standings here. They've got a little bit over a 1% chance of making the playoffs right now, 1.4% chance, and they currently sit 5.5 games out of a wild card spot. So I think if you're looking to do anything here, you're looking to just bury the Cardinals. Like, let's end their season by the end of this series. They basically have to win 3 of 4 in this series to really continue to have any sort of a shot. So, if you split here with the Cardinals, you're kind of hurting their playoff odds a lot. If you can win 3 out of 4 here, I mean, you're putting a nail in the coffin.
Yep. They officially ended the Rockies playoff dreams yesterday.
They did. The Rockies became the first team eliminated from the postseason.
That's right. So the Pirates, they did that. And now can't be official, but they could really dampen the Cardinals playoff hopes here as well. So yeah, it could be really good. 2 back-to-back series where they're killing playoff dreams. These pesky 2025 Pirates. Yeah, there's that, I guess. Again, I'm just looking. The second half, the offense has looked better. I know the Rockies are the Rockies, and that can help. But they've struggled mightily on the road. They're a playoff team at home, and like the worst team ever to play baseball on the road. Like I said, it's like 2022 Jack Sawinski all over again. These home and away splits. It's just wild what they're doing. And yeah, they're going to go into St. Louis. We know how things are in St. Louis usually as well for the Pirates, but we'll find out. 4-game series, no Paul Skeens. How's this team going to keep going? How's the rotation going to hold up? And how's this offense going to continue? Is it going to be the offense we've been seeing, which is more productive? Again, it's more productive. All we've been talking about is if this team can have an offense of like a 92 weighted runs created plus, they could contend next year. And that's essentially like what they've been doing. Now, again, like I mentioned, today it's probably going to increase. It's a 97 yesterday. Yes, the Rockies helped that a tad, but that's kind of what they've been doing. And I don't know. Again, we had
what are you trying to find? What
well, it's not updated for yesterday's stats, the weighted runs created plus on Fangraphs.
Okay.
So it's a 97 through Saturday.
Bummer.
I guess that's what's that?
It said bummer.
Oh. But yeah, I mean we talked about what Kutch and Pham have been trying to inspire this team to do and such. And so again, maybe there's something to that. But they've been playing a lot better offensively. So see if this continues.
Yeah.
Cool.
Last time the Pirates played the Cardinals, they it was that crazy series where they didn't allow a run.
Oh, that
7-0, 1-0,
the best stretch in baseball history.
And then they turned around and went a whole series without scoring a run. Right. So yeah.
Great stuff. All right.
Let's do that again. Let's play some of the best baseball in the history of the sport.
And it's a 4-game series.
Why not?
So why not? Why can't it be us?
Why can't it be? And let's say hopefully O'Neal Cruz is back into the mix.
maybe we'll see Andrew Heaney pitch one out and get his incentive of the series because he hasn't pitched in a week.
Andrew Heaney needs 1 out. Needs 1 out for a $50,000 bonus. He has not pitched in a week. Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. We appreciate everyone. Go ahead and like, subscribe, join, do other good stuff here. We'll be back all week. There's no off day, so post games galore. We've given away a lot of sandwiches recently. Maybe we'll continue that stretch. Hopefully we will. So we'll see you guys later. Anything else, Jim?
No. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.